So the Las Vegas Raiders long snapper Jacob Bobenmeyer apparently has a tail, and the Chicago Bears were able to figure this out. I want you guys to listen to this, and then we're going to talk about this on the other side.
And throughout the week, Scott Daly had given us a little tip with the snapper. He would move the ball right before he would snap it. And so the first two, we got really good jumps. I'm like, I'm close. Like, I'm going to get one. AC was like, we got to get this kick blocked, and I got a good jump.
So there you guys have it. Josh Blackwell, who is the backup cornerback for the Bears, he's a guy that obviously plays a lot of special teams, actually blocks a 54-yard field goal attempt. Now, the Raiders should have been able to make that kick, right? 54-yard field goal attempt, that's absolutely easy for majority of kickers in today's NFL. The Raiders should be 2-2, but instead the play ends up getting blocked. And part of this is because apparently Jacob Bobenmeyer, who's the Las Vegas Raiders long snapper, apparently this guy has a tail, and I went back and I watched the tape, and you can definitely see it on tape. And I'm going to show you guys every single one of this guy's field goal attempts. And we'll look at the tail. And I'll show it to you guys. I think it's pretty noticeable once you guys actually know what to kind of look for. But also, I just want to put it out there that, the guy that figured this out was the Bears long snapper. That is Scott Daly. He was the guy that kind of figured this out. And he actually gave the Bears, the guys that are on the other side of that, right, trying to block those kicks, he actually told the Bears this is the thing to kind of look for. And obviously, Josh Blackwell's telling us that, hey, I kind of saw it, right? And I figured it out. And then on that final attempt, I just went for it. And you can even see it on this final attempt. This guy actually gets a good jump because of this tail. Like, it's just very clear to be able to see it. But I'm going to show you guys some tape here in a second. And I should also just throw this out there. And if you guys did not know this, the guy that's usually where the guy that was supposed to block Blackwell is, the guy that's usually out there is actually Michael Mayer, who's the Las Vegas Raiders backup tight end, and he is out due to a concussion. So not only did the Raiders have a backup player at like that wing position on the field goal attempt, not only did the Raiders have a backup there, but you also have the tail, and to me that's just bad, man. It's just unfortunate for the Raiders. But I do want to break these plays down because I think it's important for us to be able to recognize some of these things, and then at the same time it has to get corrected. And this is something that's going to be hard to correct. When you think about a guy that's snapping the football, the motion for him to snap the ball is going to be very consistent. It's going to be very, very much the same on every single play. It's kind of like when you look at a kicker. A kicker is going to end up, taking his steps back. He's going to end up getting over here to the left. Every step he takes as he's about to kick the ball, it's going to be the same steps. And you practice those steps. You practice it over and over and over again. And for the long snapper, it's the same process, right? If you're going to snap the football, you've practiced this play over and over and over again. And I think it's one of those things that's going to be hard to crack, given, you got to get this fixed for this next week's game coming up against the Colts. Now, let's actually talk about some of what Blackwell said, right? So he says there's a tail, and I want to show this tail to you guys. So I'm going to play this video in half speed first. Tell me if you guys can notice it. You might not actually notice it. It's kind of hard to notice it right there. But do know, look at how close number 24 actually ends up getting to blocking this kick. As Blackwell said, right, we got close a couple times. Now I'm going to slow it down even further. We'll go frame by frame, and I'll show you guys exactly what Blackwell's talking about. Now keep an eye on the long snapper. You can tell he's moving right before he snaps the football. You can see it. If you guys just pay close attention, you see that movement right there before he snaps the football. And you can tell these guys are starting to recognize that pattern right there. So I'm going to show you guys 3 more field goal attempts. Keep in mind, Blackwell actually does get super close. Watch how close he's going to get on this one. This is the third to last kick that the Raiders had. He was right there. I mean, tell me that he is not getting there super closely. And again, I think this is almost on the special teams coach for not recognizing this, right? If this guy's getting this close, you need to do something about that. Laulu, the defensive tackle that's in here at this point, has to do a little bit of a better job getting his hands on that guy. That's not good enough right there. And again, just slowing it down once again, keep an eye on the long snapper. Look at the tail right there. There it is. He's moving, he's arching his back, he's lowering his helmet almost as soon as he's about to snap the football. And you could tell Blackwell almost times this one as well. As soon as he's about to go, look at number 39 off the right edge over here. He's going. He's the first guy that's kind of moving, so you can tell that he's already recognized the pattern. The second to last field goal attempt that the Raiders had. Now, keep in mind, the Raiders at this point are down 21-19. There's about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This is actually to take the lead. And once again, look at Blackwell. Look at how close he's going to essentially get to blocking this one once again. Now, Laulu does a little bit of a better job making contact with this guy, but you can tell he's recognizing when the ball's about to get snapped. Again, let's just slow it down so you guys can see the long snapper actually have that tail that Blackwell kind of pointed out. Again, frame by frame here. Keep an eye on the long snapper. There it is. He's starting to move before the ball actually gets snapped. And you can even look at the actual football. You can tell he's like gripping the ball a little bit harder, or he's moving it just as before he's going to snap the football. And again, as soon as he starts to move, 39 times it perfectly and he goes. Now on this one, he is a little late, I would say, but on the final attempt, I mean, he goes at the perfect moment. And on this one, you guys keep an eye on the corner here. He's going to come right off the edge and he's going to block it. And the timing of it was absolutely perfect. And again, this right here, you know, you can just tell there's a tail here by the long snapper, because as soon as he's about to snap the football, you know, as soon as that tail happens, and the end zone angle camera is kind of in the way, but you can tell that the long snapper starts to move. And as soon as he starts to move, you can see the cornerback goes. He's going to be the first guy that essentially is going to be able to jump this. That's a great job right there by Blackwell to be able to jump it. And again, even more than that, you know, Laulu doesn't do a great job on this one. I think this was by far the worst block attempt that he had out of the last couple where Blackwell kind of got close. That's not good enough right there by Jonah Laulu. And again, it's not his fault. You know, at the end of the day, this is not his position. He did have a week to practice it, but then again, that's on the coaching. You got to get this guy ready, right? You have to have him ready. And again, he's a defensive tackle, so he's not a guy that's going to be out there blocking. You know, maybe you put Ian Thomas there as opposed to Jonah Laulu, or maybe a different offensive lineman, right? Why put a defensive tackle there? I know it's kind of questionable a little bit. But again, the field goal ends up getting blocked. Obviously, Jacob Bobenmeyer has that tail, and you know he'll have to figure it out. You know, I don't really know how he's been snapping footballs like this, right? This is just how he does it. To change his stance, that too, like to change how you're about to snap a football within 1 week and be able to kind of do it, that's just a hard thing to do in my opinion, right? You're so used to being able to snap the football a certain type of way. Obviously, the Raiders will figure it out. You know, if he's unable to change that, or if he's unable to, you know, not be able to correct this issue, the Raiders will obviously go in and bring a different long snapper. Now, the Raiders could also use this to their advantage. Right, have him, you know, move a little bit. Maybe someone jumps and then, you know, actually snap the ball right then and there. But it is unfortunate for the Raiders. You know, I watched the tape, and my initial goal of today was to do an entire film breakdown where we just look at everything, right? Look at every single play, every single issue that kind of arose on tape. But I decided not to do that because I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to actually look at some of the tape and share it with you guys. I think the Raiders have to correct this. They will get it corrected. And there were a lot of good things I saw on tape as well, right? And I will still get in the tape for this video. I'm going to record that video right after I post this one. So I might actually drop that video a little bit later on today. If not, it'll be dropped early on tomorrow. Either way, I think the Raiders will bounce back. It's one of those unfortunate losses, but do understand, you know, only 1/4 of the season's over at this point, right? We still have a ton of games, like 13 games technically left. So long season remaining. You know, you have 2 games where you have the Colts coming up next week, and then after that, you have the Titans. And I think both games are winnable games for the Raiders. You have the Chiefs in 3 weeks, right before your bye week. So hopefully the Raiders are able to win some of these games. We'll see what ends up happening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time with another video.